You're at the in between on the 1 minute. Just get ready to pop up. It's in a wedge. Right at that wedge where that pivot is.
Hola, YouTubers. ¿Qué tal?
Yes, it is, huh?
I don't speak much Spanish. That's about the gist of it. Check out this
Uh,
perfect bearish measured move on SPY. How cool is that? Look, leg, consolidation, leg. Now we're sitting into a little bit of a bear flag with the old pop and drop right to the top of a inverted hammer that we had in the pre-market. Now this is where we look for tweezers, or as Stone would call it, the Vreeland setup.
the Vreeland. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vreeland. That's right. Now we look for tweezers. Bear flags. Look for the tweezers on the pullback.
There's BBBY. It peaked up right above 4. Look at this big old spinny doji here. Either A, we get a quick run right up to about 420, 430 with a halt possibly, or we break over and rip a face off to the bear side here. Time will tell. Let's see here.
$11.20. Oh, this is terrible.
Went and bought some Macy's puts this morning. They're still holding up, and I might add a bunch of those later.
I don't want to pump this thing, but that Bed Bath and Beyond is about the 50% retracement right now. That big sell-off.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we can put some dope on the chart for that one.
It's in a wedge similar to that we had yesterday, actually, on the S&P and SPY and everybody.
Right there. I'm not trading this. I'm looking for the options to fall off in implied volatility, and then I'm just going to buy a bearish position, a leap out, and sit on it. That's my opinion, by the way. That's not a go out and do this situation.
Just sit on it.
But like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like anytime you see something unrealistically pop up, you got a bunch of people chattering about it. Oh, this is the mother of all short squeezes. Da 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 da. Dude, just wait. When it peaks out, sets up a reversal, run it back down. That's just the way it goes.
Listen, anybody learn how to do it yourself.
Well, the implied volatility changes dramatically from the ones that I was looking at this morning. $4, it was 1,000%. Now it's 427%.
Hey, that's a little better.
Yeah.
We'll wait till the opening range settles on that. We'll find some sort of spread will be worthwhile, but it's a $4 stock, dude. The spreads aren't going to be really doing jack on that. You're right. But if it goes bankrupt in a quick week, who knows?
So how about looking at August?
But I mean, like, August. Yeah, you get a bunch of hype and it's all fluff. It's all hopium that runs that, dude. And it's like you can scalp it. You can scalp the little pops on it, sure. Just don't get caught holding the bag, man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Oh wow! Look at that. Perfect 50% of the drop retracement today on the ES.
Right to it on SPY by him.
Right spot on. I mean, we dropped it. Now, if we are to get a upside continuation here.
That's a big doji spinner. Let's see what happens. We've had some pretty amazing price action over the past few weeks, and it's just been real simple to trade.
Really is how long is this all going to really last, right?
Right.
Because if you go back to the pre-COVID times, it wasn't as volatile like this, right? It wasn't, the ES wouldn't move 100 points one way and 100 points another way. And Q wouldn't move 300 points one way another way, or 1,000 points or something like that.
Right.
And the question I have is, how long is this going to last? Because that can determine the future of should I quit my regular job or not.
Right. That's what it comes down to, man. When you can replace your income with trading, dude, It is a glorious thing, but yeah, it's like how long will this real easy price action last?
Yeah.
This is like all producing some textbook price action moves. I mean, to the penny sometimes. We're just able to nail it. One thing to watch for, this is a descending channel from our pre-market, and a 50% retracement takes it to about 395.40, 395.50 in a range.
All right, we just hit 50% of the entire move, the drop move right there at
Yep.
39.80.
Bam, we're out of the channel. Let's see where she goes. And then I'm gonna touch base on what the diamond told us in just a
What's the
moment.
diamond tell us? Good. How y'all doing?
Better by the minute. Every
Yeah.
minute goes by, we make dollars and cents.
And this always makes sense. Looking at that pattern, that could still be, to me, that could still be a pullback in a bull flag, bear flag.
Yeah,
But that stop where it stopped, though, that was you got 3 5-minute candles that are like in the same area. It just boom, 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 one short one, doji, and then that bullish
right.
candle. So
If we get a
it's still
5-minute
push.
evening star, it'll happen here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You get that morning star look, evening star thing.
Yep. But we can still extend to the 50% retracement of the whole channel down from the opening high up here at 398.77. Just draw an angular line and then find about half of it, throw a stripe across the half mark, and that's your bull target. Down here on the pivot is your bear target, and if it continues to break over, this can set up a measured move, and that's where your bigger time frames start to play out. If this accumulates here, this becomes your first leg,
Right.
and your measured move takes you down to like 389.
That's right. I love this stuff.
So we just we trade between the pivots, we find the setups, and we trade the break. There's your break, right off the 8 period, running through that first leg, 50% retracement, which is just right up to this control area. Bam.
Whoa, BBY is pushing up.
Yeah, like I said, careful, that could halt real quick.
Okay. This is one of those things. I love it.
It's at 421 right now. 222.
50% is 39.88.
Well,
Ish.
I
75.
chickened out and didn't take a long on the Yaz right here. While we were faking it out, so I just missed on 12 points.
Just retracement. There is a level here. Look to your left, and this is we're going to come up with a video on a liquidity box, and this is kind of something to think about.
Show us the box.
This is a page right out of Stone's book, actually.
Y'all crack me up. I got all this stuff at Bullish. This is Bullish Bear stuff.
Well, like when you see me draw a liquidity box, I'm looking for big candles with wicks, because when you have a big candle with a big wick on the bottom, it's because there were orders trying to sell that, and there were orders buying it just as fast as they could sell it. That's what creates these wicks, and it's a liquidity zone. It's where a lot of people were willing to buy that, right? So you look left, you get these liquidity zones. They pop up. See how this extends a bar down? It never broke that range. Everybody bought it right there. They were happy to buy it there. Boom, it's a supply zone. Poof. Everybody takes it. Well, demand zone, sorry. And whenever you see a wick sticking out on any time frame that stands out to you on a bigger time frame, you can go and find the liquidity. So here we have a liquidity box off this big old wick right here. I mean, this is CPI data. I mean, that was red for a moment. It went all the way down to 392.02, and then it got soaked right back up. There was everybody in their motor was right there to buy that. That's a big liquidity zone.
There was somebody yesterday that asked about setting up orders on both sides of
There's your breakover. Look at this.
When an event like this happened, right?
No.
Where were all your wicks? Right there.
And today was a perfect example of the answer I gave, right? If we pump up a lot, we dump a lot.
Right.
Right. And if we dump a lot, we pump a lot. So it's like textbook, man, watching it.
This is
watching every day.
the same thing with the liquidity zone. Also goes for the bear side. So like when you see a wick on top of a bigger candle in a trend, that becomes where everybody decided to sell it. People tried to buy it here, and there were people right there to sell it to them just as fast as they could buy it. It's just simple. Why can't I get this to change shape? Oh well. Turn it gray so it's out of the... But anyway, look at the candles. It came right up to it, wicked. People sold it right there. Boom. See ya. That quick. We had our 50% target. We didn't achieve it. We knew where the control level was between here and the bottom of that supply zone. Sure enough, price came up to the supply zone, rejected, came back through the support pivot, and bam. Now we get a Tootsie Roll. We have a chance at producing a little tweezer and making one more attempt at that liquidity zone. That's common. And oftentimes when I point out how the price action works on these little double bottoms, that's exactly what you're seeing. You just look left, figure out where all the control bars are, and that'll give you the range of price for each candle that you can suspect after a bounce off of support.
That is the morning reversal.
Right there. Plain as day, sir.
Man, I love that you're naming them liquidity zones. I mean, I guess they really are supply and demand, but that's what I mean by the wicks. You see it now, don't you?
I do. That's a page right out of your book. You can see where the orders took place very fast. There's a lot of stuff changing hands very fast, and every time you see those wicks. The bars are like when you see the orders are chasing the ask on the green bars, and they're chasing the bid on the red bars. Pretty simple.
Chase that ask.
You got body, you got changing hands fair. There's your fair range. If you got bodies where, or you got candles where there's no body, you got a big wick. It was changing hands, but very, very fast. There was an imbalance there. There's your box. Bam. Right through the 50% retracement. Now we have an angular. That angular
Yes.
is actually
Right at it.
skewed. This is a Webull thing. It skews. See, it's down here on a 15-minute chart. It's up here on a 5-minute chart.
It's right at it, right where it closed and it opened right now. From yesterday.
That is supposed to be
And
my
three
regression
pullbacks.
line for the channel generated by this diamond right here. The diamond defines the range. The channel is still going to have a regression line. We could very well visit the angular support all the way down here at like 390. I had 389.50 in the range expectation for today. As the day goes on, if that's an upward angle, that support can go up. So like 390.30 is the end of the day mark. If we hit that and this diamond pays off 12 for 12, dude, we got it in the bag.
Wow. We got upward range too. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to listen to the diamond.
Upward-
Damn it.
Upward range this morning was 398.50 or 399.50, sorry. And that's just you literally hold your cursor up here.
All right, ladies and gents, if we get a push above the 44,002 in there, we're going to see a major move up to closing that 40.28 gap that I talked about. We're so hard pushing right now.
Yep. It is
It's
a
like,
screamer.
holy crap. I'm expecting if we don't have a quick double top here and go down, we are going to see that measure move. And I'm going to share quickly this chart so the folks have it. What I'm looking at right now.
This is great stuff.
You know, it kind of, talking about the meme stocks and stuff just for a second. What it comes down to for me is it takes me back to my childhood. I grew up in some pretty rough neighborhoods. And, it was the old adage of trust nobody. And when everybody's telling me one thing, whether it's a group of people or, some bully on the street or something like that, don't trust them.
No.
Proof is in the actions. And every time I've seen one of these meme stocks get pumped, they get dumped
Yep.
just as quick. Every time. Look at the chart. Look left on that chart. You will see every time they pop, they drop. Don't trust nothing. Just trade the price action though. There's still money to be made on it. You just got to be smart.
Look at that.
Don't
Bam.
believe.
Looks
Damn,
like the
damn.
on the 1 minute right now. This looks just like a pullback, but we'll see. This could. I like to watch it candle for candle. That could be that double top on the 5 minute,
Right.
but also
So that's
right
the whole
above
thing
the
is
200.
we're looking at, so we didn't make it above the 4003 right there. That's where we had the high of today, 4003, right? So we didn't go above that on this previous candle.
Right.
And that's the situation that says, okay, are we looking, we didn't create a double top there. You know?
No. We've got the quick tweezer. We're coming back to a 50% of this bar, which is right on that angular again. This is our threshold. So if we do break out above this, yes, we can set up a bullish run. This was already a bullish measured move. We can set the third leg, which gives us an extension to like 397.75. It's got to break this threshold first. And that was just the opening range high, right on that spinner.
I love this stuff. I'm looking at your grid there, Ironclad.
Mhm. And look at that. We're pushing. Are we breaking above this? Go, 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 go.
Your Globex high is there at 40.2175.
I guess
Yeah,
we're,
so yeah, higher pre-market CPI for today was 40.2150.
I guess we're not going to get the ridiculous halt on BBBY unless it drops all of a sudden.
I mean, it's still hovering at the 420 area, so it's
It's
418 right now.
it's so expensive to borrow. Like no one's going to jump in short unless they're going to do it in minutes. You know, like here, okay, one. Here, hell yes, one. But I mean, you hold that longer than you have to short, you're just going to be paying through the nose. You're going to be generating borrowing income for people who are holding this long. That's all you're going to do. Some of that gets passed on to the holders. You got to remember that.
I hate to see that people get ripped off in those things.
Oh, me too, man. It's horrible. But it's a cold fact of nature, man. It's I think I'll quote Buffett again, and he said this best. The market is a phenomenally efficient tool that is designed to transfer wealth from the hands of the impatient into the hands of the patient. Let that sink in and just really think about the depth of that statement. If you're patient and you're just picking off the chart, trading price action, you're going to do better than everybody who's listening to what others are saying.
Chicka-pow, chicka-pow. That's the sound of picking off the chart.
Pretty
You
much.
you sound like you're in Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I'm in Star Wars right now. I am just so happy with just, I've had some breakthroughs and some progressions, and I'm just like, yay.
I have a friend who was you remember a program called Fruity Loops back in the late 90s, early 2000s? It was a program where you could go and sample different sound loops, and then you could produce music with it.
Sorry, now I remember it. Yes.
Multi-tracks and stuff.
Now I know what it was. Yeah. Do beats.
A friend of mine needed a ricochet sound that was authentic, that he could have as an original. And
Test in the open.
the hard part is when you're going to record that, like, the blast from the gun producing it is rather audible, and it washes out a lot of the ricochet sound at close range when you're trying to pick it up the microphone. I took some just lead slugs, 9mm lead slugs, and I put them in my wrist rocket and bounced them off the ground and went just perfect ricochet sound. And it got mixed into a song. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was an app called Songify.
Yeah,
as well.
there was a few of them out there, but Fruity Loops is the one I remember. And then there's
Songify was pretty cool. You could just talk into it and it would turn into a rap song.
that's cool.
That's cool. I want one. We can do songs about the market.
Right?
We need that to do it. All right, 2 wicks into that area of the open.
Yeah. All right, what do we got here? We got a little
What
double
do we
top action
got?
on your BBBY, but that's going to be seen as a bull flag, so you watch people try to chase that for a second. That is not a bull flag.
Oh, look at that. Are we going to push it? You see, that second candle was not able to break it, man.
Yep.
Was not able to break it. So what?
Return to sender.
Well, look, they got 10:30 coming up with that petroleum report. I know it usually makes a little noise, doesn't it?
Typically.
Much, I don't think. Let me go check.
Little chitty bang bang in the chart. All right. Waiting to see if Macy's gives us a clean reversal. It's kind of slow.
You know something I observed? If you're looking at the dome in Trade of 8, right now we got about 2,700 contracts on the sell side and 3,000 on the buy side. So the question is, there are more buyers than sellers right now. Where's price going to go?
Right.
Where's the buyers, right?
Well, right above this line is our supply zone.
So right now we are at 3,100 contracts stacked on the buy side and 28 on the sell side. And what's price doing? Is dropping.
Are they staggered? Are they looking at like 1, 3, and 6 increments?
No, what I'm talking about is this right here.
If you pull up the daily volume profile, you'll see all the orders stick out in the chain on the volume profile, and you'll see that you can see
Now,
on the
so
DOM
look at what I just posted right there. So you see, when I posted that, we had 3,100 on the buy side,
right?
and 2,800 on the sell side, and price is dropping, right?
So I look at all the institutional orders are typically spaced at 5, so like 5 increments. So if you look at there's one sticking out. Where is it?
Now, I'm trying to create a rule or looking into a rule because I watch the dome a lot, and I'm starting to observe this, right? If there's more orders sitting on the buy side, then the price goes down. If there are more orders sitting on the sell side, the price goes up.
There
It's
you go.
supply
Yeah.
demand, I think. That's kind of
Well,
what I'm looking at.
what I've noticed is if you put up a volume profile, I don't have the chart handy right now because I gotta get that going. But if you look at the volume profile on the ES, and you'll see where all of these orders are from the DOM, you'll see them as a visual. They'll stick out. They'll be like big red or green bars.
Trade of 8 gives you that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you look at them, like every one that isn't a 0 or a 5 for points, they stick out, and they are the ones that are volatile. They'll disappear one tick before they're hit, so they'll never fill. They just get jerked off the book. So you look at the $5 increments, and all of a sudden, if it's gonna move, those are the ones that'll stay. But if you watch them, if a tick gets close to a 5 or a 0, all of a sudden it just boom, it'll either evaporate or it'll fill. If it fills, you can expect price to bounce typically at that point, or reverse direction at that point, briefly. But if it gets pulled, they'll let it fall right through to the next 5.
Yeah.
I've noticed that quite a bit when I was trading the ES on like the 10-second chart. I could see it sticking out plain as day.
It's fighting the close of yesterday and where it pretty much opened in the Globex 39.92 and today's open. That's where the price is right now.
Very cool.
That's its little range it's in.
Now we're in that angular once more.
Gippers.
All right, so it looks like a bunch of retail fell for the alleged bull flag that people were probably talking about right here. That's not a bull flag. That's no moon.
That's a
Short sold it to them.
that's a head
They're
and
covering here.
shoulders. Ugly head and shoulders.
You know, take that as a 10-cent move on a $4 stock. That's a pretty good little swing there. Almost a 20-cent move if you look at the top of it. They cover.
Bullish move.
Bearish.
Oh yeah.
They come in. This is what short sellers do. Boom. Every one of those bars. All of a sudden they find that wick. Okay, liquidity's there. Cover. Bam. That fast. So that cost to borrow doesn't matter if you're only holding it for one 1-minute bar. No one's going to care. It's if it's hard to borrow, if there's a scarcity of shares available to short, then it's an issue.
Could be a long pullback. It looks like that on the SPY.
Macy's got a
1 minute.
big old 2-hour doji forming here. I think we could get a good break and retrace a bunch of this down to the $221 target.
And there goes our break above. Come on. Break above
Yeah.
that.
That's threatening that third leg measured move.
Threatening it. It's got to break that opening. It's got to break the opening. Period.
And then again, just draw a box on the biggest wick you find. There's your liquidity zone.
If it can break this little area here, then 40.0875 is going to get hit. But it's got to break it because it's just looking goofy right now.
Yeah, we'll need to.
Although on a 15-minute, you do have a morning star. And like I said, we got that petroleum report coming out.
Yeah.
But right now on the 15-minute, the next candle, the follow-through candle, is not very strong.
It's weakness.
And a lot of times, like on the 5-minute chart on the MES, I don't know what it looks like on the SPY, but that look of that big bar, that breakout bar, that particular look gives you an idea that it could be a range candle.
Right.
But right now, everything's kind of ranging in its wick.
So we got to.
Everything's closed above it, but wicked into the body of it.
We've already made the morning star on the 15-minute chart. There's your opening range bar.
Yep.
There's your bottom morning star. There's your retrace right back up to the top of the body of the bar. And then now if we get a wick here or a spinner here, the next 15-minute bar will either be bar, spinner, bar, and run up to the angular resistance up here at 398.50. If the petroleum report's good, I can expect that. Or if it's bad, well, it just becomes an evening star and it goes right down to the bottom of this body. And then always mark the halfway points, go for like a 395 pivot. That's about 50% of this bar, just roughly. Eyeball it. Yeah, you have to be close enough to watch the 5-second chart and trade it. That's all you need to do. Plus, there may be a new liquidity zone formed there, so kind of keep an eye on that. But go into your 5-minute chart, yeah, it's already breaking over. We're about to hit 50% of this big 5-minute bar here.
It's a Vreeland. It's a pullback in the bear flag on the 5-minute, and it's that angular.
And this can very easily turn into a Busby too. So, and if you don't know what the Busby is, Google search it. It pops up. It pops up Sig's video on that, and we have it in the library somewhere too. But you do a quick Google search, Bullish Bears Busby, and it'll pop that video up. That's a neat trade. I love Busbys. A lot of fun.
The other thing that can happen here is this could be a bear trap. And when this 5-minute candle closes, it could start going back up, and fake everybody out and turn into a big green candle or a hammer. We'll see here this next minute.
Could be, could be. There's angular here too, so it's skewed, but
Uh,
it's the Weeble thing, dude. It's crazy. It skews
It's
those lines,
crazy.
but they always react to price. I don't get it.
Let me go back out of here and look at another chart.
What if it comes out as like a
30
deviation,
seconds.
like a standard deviation or something?
It might. That's a good question. Still looks like a pullback on the 3-minute. Dojis though. What you gonna do there? 15 seconds on this candle. All right, now there you go. Now that's not good follow through there, but
All right.
I hear you.
Man,
Where's my
you know,
coffee?
not even drinking coffee today. You know, my little one is a little sick, and she just would not stop all night. You know, coughing,
Oh,
sneezing, and when she's sick, she moves a lot, and
goes.
she just ran from her room into the bed, our bed last night, and it was just like, okay, you're not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of a given.
You're not going to sleep tonight.
You're not gonna sleep tonight at all, are you? Yeah, I've been there.
All right, 10:30 oil report. Boom, 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 boom.
There it is.
Happening now.
Look at how the ES just froze at 10:30.
Yeah.
It's like no movement up or down, nothing. It's just frozen.
SPY 5-second chart too is just a bunch of
Now, according to my rules, I would be going short right now.
Yeah, that looks that way.
At least until we get to 39, 81, 84, and 81.
might be able to wring some profit out of my puts after all. Kind of slowly grinding this morning. That was kind of it was hard to decide whether to expect a nothing burger or a big range out of the CPI this morning. But I mean, all in all, if you look at the body of that range, 397.50 down to like 393.50. Not a massive move, but it gives you a good range for the day. So if we're going to have a range day, today's the day to do it. We had 2 trend days in a row that were just beautiful. So today would be a very nice day for a range day. Why not? So we could potentially set up. I mean, Monday's a holiday, but keep that in mind. We could set up into, if we find the range just repeating itself through the day, and it'll probably do so. You can go and set up your neutral position one leg at a time to roll into the next week, or even to trade potentially a trend day tomorrow. But yeah, it's kind of iffy anyway. Oh, this is.
It tested that VWAP, came back up.
We could get the shoulder here of a IHS. That's very possible. Here comes volume. And 15-minute chart, where are we at? Look, we could be setting up the bar spinner bar. This is kind of a classic thing. So like when you see the body of the third bar in a trade or in a setup going beyond the body of the doji, once it starts to go into that liquidity zone produced by that wick, then you'll see shares pick up momentum. You'll see price pick up momentum. It'll move fast. But until you do, you basically just sit and wait for the setup. That's a 15-minute chart. 5-minute chart, we know exactly where that angular is. 1-minute chart,
Yep.
we know where the liquidity zone is. So when you go and see a good setup that looks like it could be a big old bar spinner bar with a measured move up to like 399.25 at this point. It's a big ass move. Maybe 399, 398.50. Just kind of eyeballing the size of this bar and take it in your head and put it over here. It's got to break that resistance zone. It's got to get through that liquidity zone before you go take a trade on that. because it can absolutely fail. And that's the other side of the equation, is if this body starts to break below the body of that doji, the momentum takes off, your liquidity zone's right at the bottom of that wick. We can just extend this one out. This guy right here, that's still valid. That's a liquidity zone.
Man, those 4-hour Keltners on the NQ. We hit the top of it. We now are breaking it down, but we're just stuck at the VWAP area.
Just kind of chilling in limbo, burning theta, baby. That's what that kind of stuff is good for. Torching theta. It'll just sit there and spin its wheels for hours sometimes. Until we make a move. Then we just trade it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go fold some laundry before my next conference call.
That sounds more productive than staring at this grindation. That's for sure. There'll be some trades in this, don't get me wrong, but it's just going to be ticky-tack, scalping stuff. You might get some good 3-pointers out of it, 5-pointers possibly. If you get a whole 10-pointer, and you are able to scalp it, I call that a good day.
Yeah, no,
Even if you get it in a series of 3-3-pointers, it's close enough. Call it a day. Sometimes you got to know when to sit on your hands.
We're back into the liquidity zone right there.
Love that. And it's just like, you can call it all sorts of different things. Supply and demand zones is kind of what they are. I just say it as it's liquidity. There's going to be people waiting to sell it there. There's going to be people waiting to buy it there. This is how markets decide what's a fair price.
All right, so now
That's what I was thinking right when you said that.
looking at the sidebar chart that I keep going in here, does it look like to you that we're making a hand and shoulders right there? That's price, just price.
Yeah. That's got the point. It's got the, left shoulder, right shoulder, there's your neck or your head pounced out. It's already made the measured move to resistance though, so that's where this is. So at this point, if you didn't trade that, this is pretty much wait for the next setup. And to boot, we've got range expansion happening right now too, I just noticed. Da, da, da. Range expansion usually breaks some way. In this case, these are a little bit on the bearish side typically, but we could be wrong. Descending megaphones tend to break bullish with a measured move outside. But when they're here, it's kind of anybody's guess. We're between two liquidity zones. What we'd expect is if this is going to break that liquidity zone, it needs to print a bar exactly like this one right outside this angular resistance.
There you go. You're gonna go. I just hate buying at a high, It's like
Yeah, it's that's what I don't like, and that for me that comes a lot from penny stocks.
Right.
We're coming back up to that angular resistance right now. Opening range resistance.
That buy high, sell higher thing does work sometimes, but you've got to be careful on your entry. It's going to be a lot higher risk.
Right.
So like if we get a good clean break, a bar here outside would put us over the top of that liquidity zone. Sure, we can go higher. We can go to like 398. Until it breaks, you basically just sit and watch it happen. We've got a measured move from angular support through the regression to angular resistance. There was already a trade there. Now we just wait for the next one. Yeah, I hope nobody's trying to buy this. I think it's just That is a FOMO fueled trap.
What's that? The BBBY?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got two options for this next half hour. I can do some
mean-
exercise. I can fold laundry.
Scalp it all you want, but
Do
you
them
gotta
both at
know.
the same time.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I try that.
Let me see what Amazon's doing right now.
All right, are we gonna make that push? Are we gonna make that push now?
It's threatening. Yeah, let's see here. I wouldn't see that on a 5-second, but maybe we can see it on a 30-second. Nah. That would put us right in that range. Yeah, I can do it, but it's gotta get through that liquidity zone first, and there were
Yeah.
people right there to sell that. Look at that.
It's been a hard sell right there, that 4,000 level. You know.
Yeah. That is a long leap. There's a nice 5-second inverted head and shoulders there too. That was clean. Oh, we're back in the megaphone, but we never touched regression. Let that bar close. Let's see what it does.
Read 5-minute doji right before the open on the MES. Let me go see what that looks like on the SPY.
I mean, we did make a new high, 4,350. So that puts us at the definition of a double top, right?
Kind of. I mean, there's if you look at
Yeah,
that,
it's definitely a wedge too.
you look at that chart full of candlestick settings or candlestick formations that I posted yesterday.
I thought you took that off my wall. That's my Japanese candlestick poster.
I saw someone posted on Facebook, so I snagged it. I labeled it. I labeled it stolen. So
Yeah, I have that. That's my poster in my room.
that's a good one. I've seen it float around. This is the I name my own damn things. I can't remember all those, but was that Mabatsu or whatever?
Oh yeah, the
Well, I have
Maribuzi
that,
or whatever.
Yeah,
Once you post something on social media,
it's
ownership is gone.
yep.
You know,
It's forever public
Yeah,
domain.
it's gone, man. It's gone seriously.
So let this 5-minute close. We got a few minutes on that thing. But if
Yeah.
that closes a nice tweezer here, hell yeah, the Bears will take that over. They're doing it on a 1-minute chart. There's your megaphone back to regression. That's expected.
Lots of wicks up there on the 15-minute chart. Now it's looking like an M top.
There we go. Right to regression. Watch for a bounce here, possibly. I'm going to draw this real quick.
Still can't handle that area.
No, this is wrong. This needs to go over here.
Bop, bop, bop.
That needs to go there.
Expanding range. That's what you said.
Yeah, we got this range expansion pattern in megaphone.
Yeah, I can see it.
The 1-minute chart came with a doji right too, but that candle's not closed yet. Let that close. But it's right on that regression line.
There's
This
the
is your
tweezer top.
5-second bear target right here to 395.60.
Last minute.
breaking
That's
regression
bearish
line.
engulfing.
Yep.
Oh
See ya.
yes.
Back on the pivot.
yes, baby. We're going to the back of the bottom of that range now.
And this is where we find that liquidity zone though. So this is where we see if it's going to move or not. Bear target hit on the 5-second chart and exceeded. Next target's the extension. And that was the first line I started to draw. It's actually down this way.
Whoa.
Yeah, baby. I told you, man, that was a little head and shoulder. We're back at the
Yep.
non-pre-market VWAP.
Yeah.
Because VWAP changes based on pre-market and non-pre-market.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we
sir,
hit
Jack.
that VWAP that I had marked once we went up. Right, we did that explosive move back up. That was in OBG at the 5-minute chart at 39.85, 84.25. We hit exactly that before we found buyers there.
Yeah.
Now,
You know what time it is for me?
Lunchtime.
I'm going to eat a cookie.
yeah,
Gentlemen,
cookie time.
Jay the cookie eater.
Hey, you know, I used to eat a lot of Oreos. I replaced them with power bars.
Okay.
14 power bars.
I still eat Oreos once in a while. I like to dump
Morning,
them.
guys.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, invest in Nabisco because I just mentioned Oreos. I'm kidding. Dude, you're seeing delayed
look at
data.
that. Damn it.
Like that. Feel good though. Yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. That is the Vreeland right there
Right through liquidity. Bam.
on a
Tweezer top.
5-minute chart.
Bearish
Can you see it?
engulfing. Oh, yeah.
Closing the OBG.
The tweezer. Bam.
Yeah. Now you really want to see good follow through on this red candle though, if it's going to keep going.
We broke
Let's
the
go back
liquidity
to
zone.
that 39. Let's go back to that 39.73.25, our level there, man.
Well, this is a pivot now because we had the center of a measured move right there, right? So there's
This
a pivot
is
right at 349 or 394.50. Sorry, I got
the
the,
level that was critical support on 12/15/22. Sorry. 39.80. See?
oh, sure.
Now, if this doesn't prove to be a true Vreeland, right, on a 5-minute chart, because I was trading on the 5, I got out of it. I got my little profit and got out of it. Did a little quick scalp. I'll let that candle go green first. I saw it dip, but I didn't do anything. And I waited, and I let it go green first. And when it came back and broke the close of the previous, that bearish engulfing, then I went ahead and jumped in. And I had a target. And then when I saw it wasn't going to hit my target, I got out. And I said, oh, this thing might pull back. It might shriek. It might be faking us out. But I still got, still got me a good scalp. What'd I get? Yeah, almost 3 points. And but now you see it's changing. So that's the thing. When I see a bearish engulf like that, I know it might go all the way through. So I pick me a target, look left to pick me a quick target and go, all right, I'll go here. And that's how you scalp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you get in and just keep the hand on your button on exit.
Yep. Yep.
Hover over that cancel out the anti-FOMO button.
And this is what I'm saying. Now, look, don't go just doing that. You hear me talking about this. I got conditioned in penny stocks.
Oh yeah.
And I
man.
realized that I do have fast reflexes. Maybe not as fast as Jeremy's, but I've been going back to my penny stocks days and just watching the chart and saying, oh yeah, well right now I can get a quick scout, boom, and it's done. But I'll pick my targets and I'll set my targets and stuff in there fast. So it's beautiful, man.
You're
You know
fast.
what I was trying to do? I was trying to hook up my Xbox controller to my Mac and see if I could run it on the Tradeovate as a hotkey, you know. But I sit back and just watch the chart and buy it, sell, pushing two buttons, you know, playing like a video game. But I couldn't get that controller to work.
I wanted to play it like a video game. When I first got in, I don't know if Jeremy was there, said, man, this is like Missile Command or something. Can we get like a little Missile Command
Right?
play thing going on here?
A video game.
And
That
what was the
plays
other one? I
dividends.
wanted to have it like one of those airplane games that you used to have with the joysticks. You could go in on price.
Mm. It would be nice if we could set up an Atari, you know, controller right here. Just two buttons.
It'd be like Pong, like the original Pong on range days. All right, so you got that spinner though, but you still kind
Oh,
of a
there
high
it is.
wave thing, but it
There it
looks
is.
like it's going back down. That's an M-top looking thing.
Or just finishing up the liquidity zone. If this goes the body here, it can bounce. But if it breaks as a bar through that, bye-bye.
That look like an M-top to you?
I mean, yeah, it's the old megaphone, but it's still also kind of an M-top. But it's not a traditional M-top where it'll go and
No.
eat the entire range yet. It's already hit critical support, which is the top of the liquidity zone. That was this guy here. We're down through the extension leg, which is this control bar here. We're on a support level now. If we break the support, cool, we can go and trace the rest of this trend down to the next markers, which are going to be this guy here.
Where? Oh man, you are killing me with the liquidity zone. Sometimes, Jeremy, I'm not looking at your chart, so I apologize when I come back. I'm like, look at you.
Oh, it's all good.
It's quick. It's quick. Is
Yes.
to me is what it is, and that's to me the less I have to carry. It's kind of like if you ever saw that movie about the guy from Philadelphia who was a walk-on, Papoli or whatever his name was, Papali.
Oh yeah.
He had to be quick, so he had to ditch the usual shoulder pads for the lighter shoulder pads. He had to go for the quarterback shoulder pads, and he was supposed to have heavier shoulder pads. So he went for the lighter shoulder pads so he could run faster. And anyway, I liken it to that. So I look for the light way. I don't want to carry as much stuff. I want to be a runner.
Makes
I want
sense.
to be a runner.
I'd rather be the running back escaping the destruction.
I do like football. I was a terrible athlete, but I love football. That's what this reminds me of, football. like the coaching, because you've got to have all these schemes and plans ready to go, and you got to have reads. You got to have the quarterback read the defense, and then when he calls an audible, it's something they already know. It's not a discretionary, schoolyard play. It's something they already know.
Right.
So that's how this is to me. You got to kind of look at it like that. You got to read the defense. You've got to know, okay, if it does this, then I'm going to do that. And oh wait, let me get an audible in because this is totally going this way, and I need to pull in a different play for that. But I already have one that works out and fits it. I love it.
That's for sure. Be nimble, quick, and avoid destruction, man.
Trays.
So,
what happened there?
Well, that was that point of running that was that if we expected an explosive move at open, that was the point of having that spread. But it fell apart real quick because implied volatility always ramps up right before an event.
Yep.
And that's why you keep your costs very low on that, just speculative position. I was able to break even on the call side. I'm still sitting on a bag of puts, but it's just what it is.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say BBBY will bounce right back to 390 here, but that's about it for now. SPY, back to that angular, crossing the regression line of the megaphone pattern. Watch this set up a bearish bat harmonic. That would be stinking cool.
We got a harmonic code. Works pretty good. Especially in the higher time frame stuff.
Yeah, I've been able to spot them on a 5-second chart sometimes. I had one about a month ago I put out, and I used it as an example for a bearish bat because it was so clean. It was perfect. Like all the price levels and targets were right there written on the chart. And it was such an easy pattern to trade.
Hey,
That's got to be... I might still have that screenshot somewhere. I'll have to dig for it. But it was glorious. This can start to do that, though. This is looking like it wants to... When you get range expansion, there's two things to pay attention to. The regression line is the middle line, yes, but there's also a tendency to have channels within channels where you get a secondary regression line. Like you can draw one here halfway between the regression and the angular resistance. You can draw one here between the angular support and the regression line. And what those give you is an opportunity to see where the pattern is likely to fail and break out the other way. So for example, if you draw that, and I'll make them a different color so they stand out. When you get a point where you see price reacting to a zone, there's going to be like almost as if it's a separate regression line for this half, as if this is its own megaphone. And the way you see it is if you see a doji poke through it, you can watch for a quick bounce. So in spite of the 8 period where we look for our quick scalps on the 8 period, you can verify stuff with a regression line within an existing megaphone and know exactly where the bounce is going to be. So here we have price wicked the 8 period, bounced up through this secondary. Target's pretty easy. Just extend your angular resistance. It's up here. It's back in that liquidity zone. Yes, there's range bar right there too. And that is what we're in right here. I'm still holding the Tuesday expiration spread for the most part, except for the calls are like gone out of it.
I just explained that range bar on mute.
Oh, whoops. Well, the dog got it. There was that little push, didn't quite make that 390. Got to 387.7 or whatever the heck that wick is. Fail. This is the great example of a penny stock not to buy. Sure, you can scalp this stuff, but don't hold it longer than, I heard the analogy used, treat it like a hot rock. You don't want to get burned holding that damn thing. Give it to someone else. That's exactly what this is. Hot rock, hot rock. Here, you hold it. Hot rock. Here, you hold it.
That's funny. Oh yeah, isn't that terrible? All those people are gonna be holding those bags.
Yeah.
All right, now.
It's a sad state. Like I said, I mean, there's probably still people in social media somewhere going, oh, God, it's going to bounce here. It's going to go like 90% up. Pfft. Dude.
I'll be right back.
Proof is in the action. Look at the price action. It'll tell you everything you need to know. You don't need to listen to a damn soul. Not even me. I'm not going to go and even try to tell you, what to trade and when to trade it. I'll tell you, look, there's your targets. It's pretty easy to see in the previous price action. Here's our megaphone doing exactly what we expected so far. If it can break back into this liquidity zone, sure, it's got a chance at setting up for a pretty massive measured move. That can breach 399. But until we see the break, we don't have to get trapped. If it breaks down here and breaks back through this this center point, this upper half of that that megaphone, it can certainly take a dive. Fail. Watch this though, because if this closes a wick, that can still be a quick move, but looks like it's going back to regression. There it goes. Set it. That's almost a news blast right there. Anyway, thanks for joining us on YouTube, guys. We do this all day long sometimes. Most of the time we try to be back for Power Hour within our group, and we talk price action a lot, and we also walk through a lot of stuff about options and how to adjust them and how to how to trade them and what your expectations should be and where your risk should be, that type of stuff. I'm not gonna go and like tell you take this trade, take that trade. I don't like doing trade alerts unless I'm like very thorough on my analysis, and even some of those lose. I've had a few home runs. They look really good. I'm very picky at what I do post as an alert. But for the most part, I'm not going to try to tell anybody what to do. I'm going to try and teach people to do it themselves. That's my whole point. And I know there's a lot of people who have that mentality of I ain't got time for that. That's that instant gratification thing, or maybe your life's just too busy to spend time on analysis. But I'll tell you this, if you learn it, you spend the time to learn it, after a while it becomes so easy you can glance at a chart, know what to do, and instinctively trade the chart. And that's the whole point you try to get to. So it's going to take some time to get to that level. Yes, it's not instant gratification, but when you do, when you get proficient at trading price action, it makes all the difference on any lifestyle. I did this for the longest time working full-time. Then I started working part-time because I was able to supplement some of my income with trading. And eventually I was able to work, essentially half days because I was able to replace the other half of my income. And then I got to the point where I could replace all of my income. Here I am now. It takes time. It's not instant gratification. You're not instantly going to have, the most impeccable ability to trade. Even if you find that you're in a high probability, alert group out there that's telling you take this trade, take that trade, you can still mess that up. Even if they're really, really good at calling shots, it's all going to come down to the trader and how you trade and what you trade and what kind of analysis you do. You do your own due diligence. You look at that chart. You let it tell you what to do. It's going to come down to that. So if you want to be a successful trader, you have to be patient. You have to take the time to learn this stuff. And it's not instant gratification. Yes, I can trade a 5-second chart. That's just where I am now. But that doesn't mean everybody can trade it. And it doesn't mean anybody, even when you really get good, a lot of people still can't trade it. That's something to brag about. Yeah, it can be, but it's really not. I'm taking little small scalps, little base hits. My risk management is what makes those trades best, is being able to take those little 3-point moves and just scalp them. I don't need to hold them longer than the time shows me on a 5-second chart. So what it comes down to is just get the knowledge first. Learn how to fish. This is the hardest thing to watch, is to see somebody else make it look easy. But I'm telling you, you can get to that level if you're willing to put the time in. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a nice range day tomorrow or something. This wasn't bad to trade, but holding overnight, not the greatest plan to approach this because it just was a big nothing burger. But we can still make up the difference. We'll have some trade in today and be able to trade some range, scalp some stuff, and we'll be fine. You got to take a loss every now and then, and even I do. It happens. We just pick it up, move on, cut our losses quick, do our thing. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.